So you're making out with her. The mood is intensifying. You're having an amazing time. Things are escalating. They're getting hot. Suddenly, you're in bed, rolling around. The clothes are off. You're having an amazing time. But then something happens. She starts touching you, and you can tell that her hand's moving faster, and you can feel that there's an expectation of you to orgasm. And then you get stuck in your head. Suddenly, you're not enjoying it anymore. You're thinking, is she expecting me to come soon? I'm not even close. Am I taking too long? I don't even know if I can do it. She's moving her hand faster and faster, and you're thinking, okay, maybe if I just focus really hard, I can find my favorite fantasy, and then I can come. But it's not happening. The minutes go by, they feel like hours, and you can tell that it's not going to happen. And eventually, either she stops or you say, listen, it's not going to happen, right? Someone just kind of gives up in exasperation. You feel frustrated with your own body. You feel shameful, like you let your partner down. Your partner may feel like you're not into her or she's not doing it right. So there just becomes this awkward tension that makes you want to crawl into a hole and die. After years and what feels like years pass, someone says, well, you want to go watch TV? Only you can't focus on the show because you're thinking in your head, okay, if it happens this time, is it going to happen next time? Or if this is a pattern of happening, you think, why does this keep happening? What is going on? All I want to do is come. Why is it so fucking hard? So now, sex has become this stressful, anxiety-inducing act where you're worried every time if you're going to be able to get there or if your body's going to let you down yet again. Silently driving this awkward wedge between you and your partner. But it doesn't have to be that way. I'm Danny, a sapphic sex coach, and this is Uncensored Sapphic. Let's talk about why you struggle to orgasm with a partner and what you can do to fix it. So if the scenario at the beginning sounded familiar, this is for you. And the reason I could describe that scenario in such detail is because that was my life too. I found that I could easily orgasm by myself, but coming with a partner was inconsistent at best. So why is there that discrepancy? And let's assume that you are actually attracted to your partner. You think that she's so hot and so sexy, but you just can't get there. The problem isn't that your body is broken or there's something wrong with you. The problem is that you're struggling to give up control and surrender in the bedroom. It's like clinging to the edge of a pool because it feels safer and you can touch the bottom. It's not until you get the courage to wander out further that you realize there's this depth that you've been missing hanging in the shallows. And there are so many more possibilities of things that you can do in the deep end. Control feels safe, but it's also limiting. When you are white-knuckling on that control, it doesn't give you room to be delighted by new experiences, like allowing the pleasure of the moment to sink into your body so deeply that your body is brought to orgasm. But surrender is scary as fuck. I hate all those memes and little Pinterest quotes that are like, just surrender to life and life will catch you. Just jump and the net will appear. That is not helpful. So it makes complete sense that surrendering is a struggle because to surrender, you need to have a felt experience in your body of a baseline of safety. And for those of us with trauma, specifically childhood trauma, that baseline of safety was never established. We were always on edge, head on a swivel, trying to predict where the threat would come from next. So many of us, myself included, developed a really fond liking for control. And that was my experience for so long. And it put such a strain on my relationship because my partner would say, is there something I'm doing wrong? Is there something you want more of? And I couldn't explain what was going on because I was like, no, it feels really good, but I just couldn't get there. So I couldn't really provide a satisfying answer to her or to myself, and we were both just left feeling confused. After this had gone on for a while, at one point I even heard a little nasty critical voice come up saying that, oh, see, you're not even gay. So surrender enables you to get lost in the moment, to get swept up in the joy, in the pleasure, and the desire that's available to you in that moment. And without it, you'll be stuck in your head worrying, wondering, analyzing, all roads that lead you no closer to orgasm. Chances are you've never had practice surrendering because it was never safe enough to. And that's okay, because intimacy skills, like surrender, can be built. So you just need to practice creating the conditions that you need to feel comfortable enough to surrender, a little bit at a time. This takes what I call expansive communication. You identify a need, express it in a way that's easy for the listener to receive, and then you adjust as you go. That's the cycle of expansive communication. The goal is not to force surrender, because that mirrors trauma. We don't want to force your body into anything, but we want to advocate for the conditions that create a feeling of safe enough so you can start to relax, because relaxation and surrender go hand in hand. And that is exactly what I help my clients do. So I'll walk you through the steps. Number 1, make an educated guess about what would add more comfort to the situation. So for example, maybe for you, something that would make you more comfortable is hearing from your partner that they are not expecting you to orgasm and that they are going to be okay if you don't. Number 2, workshop ways to express that need in a way that feels easy to receive instead of demands that are laced with judgment or shame. So continuing with our example of needing reassurance that your partner's okay if you don't orgasm, you could say something like, I just feel like you always take it personally, and I just feel so much pressure, and it's just like makes it really not fun for me. That's not really going to accomplish anything, and it's also not a very vulnerable way to communicate, because there is a way to communicate where you feel closer with your partner even if you're talking about something hard. So instead, vulnerable communication could look like, it would make me feel so comfortable if I could just hear from you that you're okay if I don't orgasm. Sometimes I put a lot of pressure on myself and it gets me in my head, and I really want to be present and enjoy this experience with you. So if that feels true, could you offer me that reassurance? And if you don't feel like you would be okay if I don't orgasm, can we talk about that? Because I really want to feel so connected to you the next time that we have sex. Number 3, ideally, you get the experience of having your needs received enthusiastically and in a way that makes your partner feel closer to you. And you get to see that your needs are not a burden and that you're not asking for too much. And that in itself is a healing experience. Sometimes, since emotions are involved, our partners may respond in ways that aren't ideal, but as long as they're trying, there's something to work with there. Number 4, you want to practice surrendering to the moment in small increments outside the bedroom, because the bedroom is the most vulnerable, charged place, so we want to practice in the smaller arena before going big time. This could look like the next time your partner gives you a compliment. Instead of saying, oh, thanks, babe, while you're scrolling on your phone, you pause what you're doing, look them in the eyes, and really feel the compliment. Wow, that feels so good to hear. I was feeling a little insecure earlier, but hearing that you think I look sexy today is really going to lift me up through the rest of my day today. That's completely different. One is vulnerable because you're pausing and you are surrendering to that moment, to that compliment, to those good feelings that are available. So we want to practice outside the bedroom as well. So this is the breakdown of the expansive communication system, and it's just one part of my erotic reconnection method. Before you're able to communicate what you need, you actually have to know what you need. So this includes knowing what you need to feel comfortable, relaxed, pleasure, because pleasure should be the goal of sex, not orgasm, contrary to popular belief and representation. Because when you are deep in the throes of pleasure, getting exactly what you want, lighting up all your buttons, you're not going to be worried about orgasm. You're going to be so lost in the moment of bliss that orgasm will happen naturally without you having to work for it, chase it, or obsess about it. And of course, it's going to be really difficult for pleasure to feel accessible if your body doesn't feel safe. So we also want to work with unaddressed trauma that's keeping you on edge and white-knuckling your precious control. So you can see how all these steps layer and build within each other. So you can see how all these steps layer and intermingle with each other. And that's why I get so excited talking about the erotic reconnection method. If you want to be able to orgasm with your partner, if you want your orgasm to feel easy instead of something that you have to work for and grasp, and clear the blocks that trauma has left behind so that you can surrender and get lost in the bliss of sex. I break my method down even deeper below, and the first link is a masterclass that goes into the exact steps that you can implement, and even a bonus formula that can help you start changing your relationship with your orgasm in just 5 minutes a day. But if you've heard enough and you're so excited to start your journey to deeper connection in sex and intimacy, click the second link and you can book a connection call and find out the best way that I can support you.